Hello everyone, in this video we are going to start building a ToDo app with Django. Let us look at what we are going to build. This is what we are going to build. You can see our header here. We can choose to add a new ToDo, which we are not doing at the moment. And also this is our nav bar, which we can use to filter the tasks based on whether we want to see all tasks or the ones which are completed or the ones which we are here to do. And then also if we click on any task, you see that the description here is shortened just so that to make it nice. You can click on it to get the full details of it. And then we can also mark it as complete or not. We can choose also to delete it, which you don't want to do at the moment. So this is what we are going to build. If you are excited about it just as I am, jump into the next section where we start building this from scratch. I am in my directory where I want to create the project. If you can see, I have my virtual environment here, VIRT. I can right click and then open in terminal. If you are on Windows like me and the open in terminal is not popping up in your context menu, you can equally click here at the address bar and type CMD. When you press enter, the command prompt will open in that directory. But I will use the Windows terminal. And then the first thing is to activate the virtual environment, which I can do. If you are on Windows and using the command prompt, yours will be dots and then this backslash and the name of the virtual environment, which is virt, and then script activate. This one will activate it for you if you're on Windows and using the command prompt, but for Linux and Mac users, I think, and those of us who are using the Git bash, you just have to do source and then virt and a / scripts activate. This VIRT being the name of your virtual environment. And I know that it is activated by this VIRT, which is in brackets up here. So now that we have this one done, the next thing is to create the project itself, which we can go by and then I want to call it Django ToDo app. And I know that it is created. If I list the directory, you see that it is here. So what I have to do now is to cd into this directory, the Django ToDo app directory. I don't know why my virtual environment closed, my terminal closed. I have to bring it back. And then cd into Django ToDo. Oh no. cd into Django ToDo app. Here we can run our development server, but I want us to do the migration first for the authentication tables and everything. So Python manage.py migrate. Okay, that one done. I can clear the terminal so that I have space and so that you can also see. So we can also do now Python manage.py run server. Okay, you can open it up and then our installation is successful. So the next thing is to go into VS Code and then do the configurations for the project and start building it. I'll close from the server and then I'll do code dot to open the Visual Studio Code in this directory. If you are not using Visual Code or Studio Code, of course, you can use any IDE as long as you know your way around it. So here I am in Visual Studio Code. Quickly let me change the editor settings to make the font large enough for you to see. 25 should do the trick, I think. Okay, yes, I think this one should do it. Now I have to create an app also. So Python manage.py start app. What is happening to my typing today? Start app, and then I'll call it tasks. So here I have my tasks. So what I have to do is to go into settings.py and add it to the installed apps directory. Here I can have tasks.apps.tasks config. I've added it now. Also the files, the HTML templates that we'll be using, I've prepared all those ones in advance for you, so you can go to the description, scroll down to the description, you see the link to these templates, the link to the templates, not the source code. The source code will be that for the projects, the Python files and everything, but this template link will also be there. You can go there and then you see the to-do app templates. This is the folder you should be interested in. Just download it and then you have access to all of these HTML files and then the CSS file. Once you download it, you get a file like this, 6 HTML files and 1 CSS. So what I want to do is to first copy them here, can drag them all here, and then inside my tasks app, I will create a new directory called templates. I need another one called, not inside this tasks, called static, to hold the static file. So I'll first drag the CSS to the static directory. I'll also drag all the HTML files here into the template. Okay. So let's jump into the next section where we start the configuration, the URL routings, and then all the views that we display the first page of our project. So we will have to go to our projects urls.py file and then include URLs from the app, which we can go by path. And here all the paths, all those paths empty, that is, begins with empty, the empty string that is without any slashes. We want to include tasks in a string, so tasks.urls. And then we have to now create this urls.py file inside our tasks app, url.py, inside of which we do a quick import from Django.urls. We want to import path, and then our URL paths. Let's declare a path now. So path for the home page, so we can go default page, and then we have not created this view, but you create them. So views dot and call it home. And then the name of this path will also be home. So from dot we have to import views, and then we go inside views, declare our home view. So request always as the first parameter and the only one for now. Then render, we want to return render rather. So return render, and then request again. And then the name of the template should be index.html. So index.html for now. Let me save this urls.py, and then if we spin up our development server, Python manage.py run server, and then we go ahead and refresh. Yes, it works, but because we have not configured the static files, see that it's the plain HTML that has been returned. So let us do that, the static files. Inside the index.html, what we can do now is to load the static. And then in here, instead of just referencing it plainly like this, we have to use the tags. Static, and then the name, which is style.css. So after a hot reload, everything should work now. Yes, everything works. So we have to do this static file configuration for all the templates, or the URL, the templates here, but they are all the same. This part at least is the same for all of them. So what I can do is to copy and then paste it for each of them. But if we go back, do a hot reload, and click on any of these ones, we get an error because we have added a CSS. We have not declared views for them, and even the URLs inside the HTML files is not one that Django can recognize. So let's quickly create the views for all of these, and then the URLs as well, and then we come back to edit the URLs inside the HTML files that to take us to those pages. Those pages. So define the URLs in a way that Django will recognize it. So back inside my views.py file, we want to create views for a couple of things, which I can just copy this and then duplicate. We have remaining, and that will be remaining. Let me open the template so that I reference the name, remaining.html. There's another one also for let's make this one completed, because it comes before that one, and then this will completed of HTML. We also need one for the add task. So here I'll call it add task, and the HTML file is also add task. We also need one for the delete, which I'll call delete task. The last one for the task detail, which will be task detail.html. Okay, so we now have all our views here declared. Did I break from the server first? Let me do so, because it might cause a problem. And then back in the urls.py, can declare the path for all of them. So the path completed, the views.completed, and then the name will also be, let's say, done, just to make it, keep it short. And then here, remaining, and then here will be remaining views dot, oh no, maybe undone. That will be the URL name, or let me just keep it as the path so that it will not be confusing. Remaining, yep. And here we will do our add task. This place will be delete task, so delete task. And we also have task detail. Detail, task detail. I think that will be all for now. Yes. And what we have to now do is to configure the URLs properly inside the HTML files. So inside the add task, beginning with the index. The first part, the first URL here should lead to the add task HTML. Let's configure that one. The second one should lead to home. This one to completed. This one to remaining. And this one to task detail. And then finally to delete. So that will be all for the index.html file. I will go ahead and do it for the rest also, and then come back to you shortly. Okay, so I'm done for all of them. Let's spin up our development server and see. Do a hot reload. Delete not found. Where? What do we call the path? Oh, the path is called delete task, so I think we have to just change this one. Another hot reload, and then it works now. Now, before we continue to create tasks, I want to introduce you to what you call template inheritance in Django. So let me break from the server as usual, and then let me explain the concept, and then now we implement it. If you take a look at the site, you see that the completed, I've turned off the server so I cannot click on it. It will give you an error. And all tasks, this navbar runs through all the 3 pages, those 3 pages, And even the header is also found on all the 3 pages. It's even found on the header is found on all pages. And we can inherit from a base template. Instead of repeating that particular HTML over all places, we can simply inherit from a base template. And that one, this is how we do it. We tell Django first where to find those templates and inject the code into the places that actually need to change for that particular web page. The settings.py here, we can tell it where to find those templates. So I will tell it here. So os.path.join, and it's telling me that I have to import this OS. I want to join the base directory, which is just declared up here, which links to the place where your manage.py file is. I want to join that one, and then inside it, we want to go into our Django ToDo app, and then in a folder called template. So that folder has not been created as at now, so let us go and then create it. But don't forget to put a comma after this. Yes. What I'll do here is first to copy all of this in index.html, and then inside this template for the app, I will create a new file called base.html and paste everything inside for now. But what we need is, yes, of course, to load the static, we need that one also. Up to the title, we also need it. But the header changes in some places. In some places, the header changes. Not all the places that we can add it to do, but we can work around that one and make this part, this one that says quick to do, we can wrap it rather inside an anchor tag so that it will link to the home page always, so that we don't have to change the header for most of the pages where we have to come to the home page, so that the alt tags can be on every page that we are on. So I'll quickly modify this one with an anchor tag, then the URL. For now, let me put this one in, and then the URL will just be leading to home. Okay, so we can click on the quick to do wherever we are to get home. And we want to keep all of these constants throughout all the pages, so we will not touch them. But the navbar changes for those 3 places, so I'll cut that one off here. And then this next section where the task is will also be different for all the 3 pages on our navbar. So section here, I'll also cut it off. And then in here, I want to tell Django that this is where it will inject the code for wherever the page will be rendered. This is how I do it. I declare a block which I'll call content, and I have to tell Django that the block will end. So we can save it like this, and Django will know to inject the content here. So now this base.html file can be accessed on all our pages, and then let's start with the index, the home page. But you remember also that I have to create a navbar template, so we can say home nav, the one that will display all the page, all the tasks. So that one, we just paste the nav bar in there like this. So inside index.html, I can delete everything for now. And then I will say include the template. So include, and here I will specify it as base.html. We also want to include the navigation for the home. So home nav, home_nav. And then here what we do is we declare this content here. We declare the same thing here. Oh no. And then it's in here is where we paste the code that will be dynamic to this particular page, or that will be different for this particular page. But I forgot to copy that one also, so let me just do quick undo and then delete up to this section here, and then here also. So this section is what I'll wrap in the block. You can paste it here and then move the section inside of it just like this. So let's save it now, spin up our development server once more, and when we refresh it, we shouldn't get an error. We should get a page that looks just like this. Okay, our server is started. Do a hot reload, and the page comes in just like this. So if I go ahead and comment this home now, so that now it's no longer shows, come back and do a quick refresh. Okay, the comment did not really work. Let me cut it off completely and do a hot reload. You see that the nav bar is gone, but when we bring it back, it will be included. So in every page where we can just include this home nav.html, and we have access to it. And for now, our index.html is now simplified to what is only relevant to the page. And that is what is Django template inheritance. So quickly, I'll create the navbar for the rest of the other pages also, for the completed and then the remaining page. Let me start with the completed. Where is the nav? Yes, it's supposed to be here. And this one will be completed nav.html. Paste it in here and save it. Okay. So now inside this completed, it will look just like this one. So we can just copy some portion of it. But for now, let's delete the ones that are not relevant. Let me collapse this side. So it's only the section part that we need. And then we can come in here, copy it like this, paste it here. But this one will not be home nav, this one will be completed nav. So completed nav for the one for the completed page you show. Let me also repeat it for the one the page for the remaining task also. Okay, so it's now complete for all the pages, but for the 3 pages. But for this one, this one will be remaining. But for the other pages, we only need the header, which we have not created a template for it, but we can leave them for now. I just wanted to introduce this concept. At least if you don't have it for all pages, you can look at how to implement it at your end for all the pages. So you can just create a template using just the header here, and then import it into all the other templates that we have not yet used the template inheritance in. But for now, you can, this is all for the template inheritance. Let's jump into the next section where we add tasks from our backend and then display them on our web page. Let me start by collapsing this side and then also stopping the development server. Python manage.py create super user, and then the super user name will be codebase, email address mail@codebase.com, which is not a valid mail, my password, and then a super user is created successfully. So let's spin up the development server again and then go into our backend, our admin area, to do the configuration over there. Here I'll go to /admin and then should log me in. Okay, we don't have the table here because we have even not even created a model. So let's go back and then create the model and add it to the admin area. That one will be done inside the tasks app where you see the models.py. So class, the name of the model will be task, inheriting from models.model. And then these are the fields that we will have. We will have the title, which will be equal to a character field. The max length of it should be, I think I'll take 35 for now. You can choose to put any number there. There is also going to be the description field, which will be a text field, like so that's just like a text box, just like this place where we are typing code, large enough for the person to type whole paragraphs. But that one we will say the now equals true, and also blank equals true, so that it's not always that the task will have a description, so that the person can be allowed to save it even if they don't put anything there for now. And we also need the due date. Date field. We also need the due time, which will be called to models.time field. And we also need to know whether it's completed or not. So completed will be models.boolean field. And this one, the default will be false, because when we create a task at first, it shouldn't be completed. And I'll go ahead and then declare the string representation so that I see the thing well at my admin area. And here I'll return self, inside an F string, receive self dot title. So that's all we need to do for our model. you can come into the admin.py and then register. So here from .models, we want to import task, and then admin.site.register. I want to register task. Okay. So we can now do the migration. Let's allow it and then break out of it. Python manage.py make migrations. Okay, then Python manage.py migrate. Okay, migrations have all been applied. Let's spin up our server once more and then add some tasks to it. Okay, so we can come back here, do a hot reload, and then we see the task table here. Let's add the first one. This is it was create a to-do app with Django. And I can come into this lorem issue generator.org just to fetch some dummy tests here. So I can copy this one for the description and then paste it in. The date, I'll pick a later date, maybe a second. The time will be noon, and this one is not completed. So I'll save it and then add another one. Download the template files. Paste it in again. This one will be today, and then in the evening, but this will be completed. So now we have two of them. Let's come back to our home page and let's go back into our view so that we can render those ones from the database instead of the default one I placed in there. That will be inside our index, but let's first work on the view. Can close these ones, we don't need them for now. Even the URL, we don't need it. We need the views.py file. And then the home one. From here, we have to import the table also from the model. So from .models, we want to import task. And then here, we want to get all the tags. So task equal to task.objects.all. We want to get all of them. And then here, okay, once we get it, that is all. We can pass this in here as a context dictionary where tasks will be equal to, or the value of that one will be the task also. So we can have access to this task inside our HTML and do whatever we want to do with it. So inside our index.html, here we can also type conditions and loops inside here. Actually, we can do that. And so that one will be done using the task card. Here, let me first of all cut this. And then we'll create the loop for all the tasks that are in the database. And that's how we do it. So I can say for task in tasks. And I can say for task in tasks because these tasks is coming from the view. So the view will pass it on. And I can have access to this task. This is what I'm referencing. The key is what I'm referencing in the HTML template, which also has a value of this, which is also all the tasks that are being fetched from the database. And then once I do this, I have to also tell Django that I've ended the for loop, so end for, and this part is not necessary. So between the for and this one, where I'll paste my section, the task And then here I can have access to all the part of the task, just like I will access it in a Python dictionary. So here I will say task.title to render the title here. This one will be, I'll copy this one. This one will be task.description. And then due, and then will be task, dot due date. Here will be task.due time. And I think that will be all for now. So I can save it. It's our server still running. Okay, still running. And let's do a hot reload here. And you see that it has really come, but our description is overflowing. And because I have defined definite weights for these ones, so let's quickly deal with this overflowing stuff and then refresh our page again. Inside here, where the description is, we can apply filters to this. So the filter I want to apply is the slice filter, and then I want to slice it by, okay, so this one is just like indexing in Python, where we have to extract a particular index of a list, maybe from this particular index to this particular index. So I'll take whatever is starting, and then up to, say, the 35. Okay, so from 0 up to 35, it should give me those ones there. Let me refresh. This is what? Slice require 2 arguments, 1 provided. Okay, let's quickly fix that one. This is how the syntax is supposed to be. Is it because of the space here? Let me save it and see. Okay, so it was because of the space I put there. There shouldn't be any space here. I'm used to spacing up my code a lot. So this is it. It will concatenate it. Okay. In order to make it look like there's more to it, we can, after the slice, the 3 dots here. Yeah, just to show that there's more. So we have now rendered all the tasks. In fact, this one is completed, but it doesn't show that it's completed. So let's fix that one to show that it's completed, so that you have the strike through like this one, and then also display the completed tag down here. Back into our index.html, what we will do is I'll collapse this div inside the task for now, because if you look at it carefully, this one is the div that should render for the tasks that are not completed. So I can go into the completed.html here, then copy the task card for the completed, come back here, and then we can actually also declare logic here. So for task in task, I want to check if the task is completed, or if completed is true, then render the completed tag. If it is false, then render the uncompleted tag. So if task dot completed, then I have to also, let me paste that one there for now, minimize it, and then here I say else. So if the task is completed, render this completed div, else render this, and then here I will end if before I end the for. So if the task, for every task in the task, if the task is completed, render the completed div. If not, Oh, what did I do? Okay. This is the completed, not the one that is not completed. So for task in task, if task dot complete, so if task dot complete, let me put the else also here. Register this one. If not, then register that one. So then we end if we end for, because the for is the outermost one and then the if is also nested inside. But you see that the completed place, we have not really declared the we are not accessing it from the task, so let's do it that way. Let's do that one. Here we will access it from task.title, and this place will be task.description. And that is all for the completed site. Let me minimize it so that, okay, just minimize it here. Yes. So now when we come back, is our server still running? Yes, it is. Do a hot reload. Still didn't fix it. Why? Task.complete. Did we call the field complete inside our models? The field name is completed. That is why it is not working. So if task.completed, let's save it now. A hot reload. And you see that now it is working. But we have not implemented the slice for the completed part. So let's do that one quickly. So we want to slice, and we do that from whatever up to, I think I used 35. And that one is also fixed. So that is it for this part, loading all tasks. Let's jump into the next section where we load the tasks which are completed. For the completed task, this is quite similar to the all tasks. So I can say task again. Or let me use completed so that it will just match to completed, or completed task equal to task dot object. This time around we use the dot filter. We want to filter it by something, where we say the completed equal to true. So it should filter the table and get us all the tasks which has completed set to true. And then here we can also return this context dictionary, just like this one. But this time around the task will be equal to completed tasks. Yes, this is all we need to do. And come back to the template, the completed template. In here, of course, I think we can just go to the index.html, where is it, and copy it for the complete site. It will be the same, and then paste it here. Because it's the same, it's from this place that we copied it and went to modify it. So let's save our vis.py file also. Make sure that our server has restarted correctly. Yes. Do a hot reload. And now all tasks completed, and the thing is not coming. Oh, and I think, why is it not, the task title is not showing? One of the disadvantages of copying and pasting. So let's see what can be the problem. The problem is I've not declared a for loop. That is the problem. So let me just come here, copy this, come back to completed, and where we pasted this, let's paste the for loop rather. And then, oh no, let me maintain it so that I'll avoid confusion as much as possible. Where is it? Section, the task card should be here. I have to delete all of this up to else so that it will be for task in tasks. We are referencing it here also as tasks, which should be equal to completed task. Yeah. Yes. And then for task in task, we want to now render that one, and this one should do it for us. So I want to reload, and then now it's in. So we have all our tasks and then completed. The next session, we are going to do it for the remaining parts, which I guess we have already thought of how to do it already. But let's jump into the next section and do it all together. For that one, the syntax will be quite the same to this one. So we can come in here, paste it. Here I will say remaining tasks. And then here to our copy and then paste it. This one will change to remaining tasks. But this one, we want to filter it by the completed equal to false. And that should do the trick for us. Inside our remaining here, in our section also, this part that has our div, we can now go and say that for task, and then let's end for. Does it occur like this? Okay. So for task in tasks, let's end for. And then in here, go tasks.title. And then task.description. Let's apply the slice. And then anything from 0 to 35 should do. Okay, so this should work. Yes. Let's come back. A hot reload, all tasks completed, to do. Okay, so what I'll do now is to populate the database with more of these that we see how they work. And this is also fully responsive. If I make it smaller, I see that it automatically shrinks in. So it's fully responsive both for mobile and for all screen sizes. So I'll go ahead and then populate the database. /admin. I'll add more so that we will take it from there. I'll do it and then get back to you shortly. So I have populated it with some tasks. So we can go back to our home page now. And then we see that they are all listed here. You can scroll through them, come to those parts which is complete, you see them all there, and the ones which we are yet to do. Let's see how they behave also on small devices. Okay, so I can scroll through all of them, completed, and the ones which we are yet to do. That will be all for this video for the first part. The second part, we will look at how we can use model forms to add the data ourselves instead of typing it at the admin area. We can add it here, and then we'll also implement the functionality for the deleting of the task also. So see you in that section. And until then, make sure that you keep creating. If you have not subscribed, also do your best to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss future tutorials, and then give a thumbs up if you like the video. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.